Everyone, today we are gonna speak about the whole child article, in which it speaks about the social emotional learning, and basically what it is a process that focuses on developing social emotional competences that are not usually learned. But we can work on it. It is sometimes complicated to work with the students or on the resource areas because they don't have all the resources and all good conditions to be social and emotional wise. And these aims to improve safer conditions for better learning. And the competences are the self-awareness that basically involves that the student is conscious of what is happening to him, and also the self-management that when the student is capable to do actions by himself. The social awareness when he's conscious about what's happening around him, and when he will be able to manage the relationships and be responsible with decision making. Um, and this is very important because they will help prepare students to be able to participate in learning experiences and increases the capacity to learn. NIRI has also shown that the students are more motivated to learn, and NIRI is really needed in the same way as learning content. The students basically need to know their content, but they also need to be aware what's happening around him to interact with the community, and they also need to know how to regulate emotions because if they don't, they will not be able to use those resources to help them academically.
Now, in terms of the roles of supporting social and emotional learning, we got first of all the state, which is in charge of promotes the SEL by adopting or developing standards. Then we got the district, which is in charge as well as the school administration to implement practices or SEL programs to evaluate educators with the standards and assesses the effectiveness of this kind of learning. In terms of the school administration, they are in charge as well of integrating with curricular resources and providing teachers with experiences. And then we got the teacher, which is in charge of including techniques that foster a better environment to the student, which is really important because it's the one which is in constantly contact with the student. Then we got the progression, which means that the emotional factors or the emotional aspects of students is a progressive thing. So as the students are training SEL, the mastery of different competencies is evident. So for instance, when kids are in kindergarten, they are just identifying feelings and emotions. Then when they pass to 5th grade, they can use strategies to manage their own emotions. And then when they are like almost getting done with their high school, they're capable to understand their impact, the impact on others and find community resources to help them self-manage their emotions. And then we got the promoting positive learning environments, which are really important to keep this positive attitude among the students and to let them feel free and feel safe. So we got, for instance, the engagement, which is to establish strong relationships between students and teachers and students, and teachers and administration. Then we got the safety, which is just to put the students in a safe place, away from bullying and violence, which is really important. And then we got the environment itself, which is it refers to the well-managed schools, the good conditions, the good infrastructure, and so on. And then we got some teaching practices, which are really important as well. We got, for instance, the student-centered discipline, which center all the attention in the student. So in this methodology or this practice, teachers should not attempt to overmanage their students. And then we got the teacher language, which refers to the how teacher talks to student, which is important because it determines a lot of things regarding the process of learning, in terms of how can I improve myself. Then we got the responsibility and choice, which is important because it allows the students to make responsible decisions. This is super important because it helps them to face like really hard decisions or situations when they grow up. Then we got the warmth and support, which is the social support from teachers and peers, and the cooperative learning, which is promoting one another's successes, which is important because it is like a particular adjective of this kind of learning. Then we got the classroom discussions, which are important to elaborate on thinking, self-reflection, and self-assessment. That refers to the question of how can I improve myself. And then we got balanced instruction, which is a balance, as the name says, between individual and collaborative work. Then we got academic press, and expectations, which means meaningful and challenging work. And finally, we got like competence building, modeling, practicing, feedback, coaching, which is a methodology that helps developing social and emotional competencies systematically. And finally, we get the reference that you can find at the end of our presentation, and it is based on the article Teaching the Whole Child. I hope you like it and learn a lot.